Hi, Greg Griffiths here from Ivanhoe Cycles. This is the 2018 Giant Defy Advanced Pro 1. This is, as the name implies, a Giant Defy, which means that it has a slightly longer wheelbase than the strictly racing model, so it's an endurance road bike. A little bit longer in the wheelbase, a little bit more relaxed in the angles, a little bit taller in the front, so the rider sits up a little bit higher and has a little bit more comfortable ride than on a serious racing bike. So it's an endurance road bike designed and made for the recreational rider who may never pin a number on and go and race, but who does want to ride longer distances and ride regularly. So it's quite a comfy ride, and that's also enhanced by the defused seat post, which, because of its shape and design, there's a little bit of flex backwards and forwards in the seat post when you're on the rougher road. So it is quite a comfy ride. Another really nice feature about this particular bike is the fact that it has tubeless tyres, and they're attached to carbon fibre or composite rims. So it's a very light wheel setup because there's first of all the lightweight of the rim structure and the fact there's no tube inside. So it means they can be ridden at a slightly lower pressure if you wish, so that rider comfort can be further enhanced by having slightly less pressure in the tyre. So it's a really nice feature. If you do happen to get a puncture, you can either fill the tyre with sealant, or you can just remove the tubeless valve from the rim, put in a regular tube and just repair it to get yourself home. So it's a really nice wheel setup. Another really good feature on this bike, and for a road bike, is the fact that it has hydraulic disc brakes. And in this case, they have a special disc rotor that has cooling vents, so to help dissipate the heat. So the braking, even if you're on quite a long descent down a mountain with a lot of heavy braking, the disc doesn't overheat and the braking stays consistent. Also with this bike, it has, rather than the regular dropouts where the fork will fall out, the wheel will fall out of the fork on the front and the rear, it has what's called a through axle. So removal of the wheel is slightly different. So I'll just demonstrate that to you. To remove the wheel, just undo the lever on the left side of the bike, pull the axle out and the wheel falls out. That's crazy simple and really easy to do. And refitting, it's just a matter of guiding the disc rotor between the brake pads, reinstall the axle and do it back up. So wheel removal and wheel refitment is super easy. The reason I do this, it means that the front end can be quite a bit stiffer. The fact the wheel's actually bolted in rather than with a quick release lever. So it's a good setup. Wheel removal, as you can see there, is really quick. For the professional riders racing, it's perhaps a fraction slower than with regular quick release, but there's not too many of us that are professional racers, so that's not really a concern. Same setup with the back, just wheel removal is as easy as unscrewing the lever, pull the axle out, and the wheel falls out of the bike. Because this is an Advanced Pro 1, as I have already mentioned, it has the carbon rims, has slightly better quality handlebar and stem than the regular Defys. And it also has an Ultegra or Shimano Ultegra group set. This is the latest model Ultegra, quite distinct with the wider crank, which means it's a little bit stiffer than the previous models with the slimmer crank. So no power or rider power is lost in the cranks flexing at all. They've press fit bottom brackets, bearings in the frame, so the assembly is quite robust and yet amazingly simple and very stiff. So power transfer being the optimum area of the bike is around here. So stiff cranks, stiff bottom bracket means that all of your power goes to the road. So it's quite a good performing bike, even though it's not strictly a race bike. As I mentioned, it has Shimano Ultegra components, and that includes the crankset, the front derailleur, the rear derailleur, the cassette and the chain. In this case, it has a compact crankset, which is a 50-tooth large chainring and a 34-tooth inner chainring. So that's what's called a compact crank compared to the racing bikes where it will be 53 and 39. So slightly lower, aimed at helping the recreational rider in most situations, and particularly climbing. The gearing is lower to get you up the hills easier. And that's aided by the wide range rear cassette. Whereas a regular road bike might have an 11 to 25 or 11 to 27 if you're lucky cassette, this one goes from 11 all the way up to 34 teeth. So the gearing on this bike is super low, with a 34 tooth chainring, 34 at the back. Obviously it's one revolution is one revolution of the pedals is one turn of the wheel, so it's a very low gear, and it means that anybody could climb up almost any hill. You know, a lot of people who ride the Three Peaks or those type of rides, the backside of Falls Creek is a major challenge for many people. This gearing would certainly get you up there far easier than most bikes, and with the disc brakes and the stability of a bike like this, coming down the other side is also done with ease. So it's a great bike, really nice features. This gearing change to this extraordinary range, it will be a big bonus. So anyone buying a bike in 2018 who wants to ride in a variety of conditions or terrains, something like this would be ideal. Coming to the range of sizes, this particular bike's a small, but there's from extra small to extra large. So from people 5'2" or 3" up to 6'4" or 5", there's a bike to suit everyone. So really nice bike, very comfy, lightweight, great brakes, great gears, and a comfortable ride. So if you're in the market for a road bike, you couldn't go past this unless you're strictly racing or that doesn't meet your budget, either it's too cheap or too expensive. So, but a great bike all round. Thanks very much.